Hi guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day today. Today I'm feeling a little bit tired, so today I thought that I would take it easy and of course talk about my favorite thing, which is one, I feel would be very beneficial, and number two is I like to write when I am tired, or depends on what I like to write, but generally if I'm feeling a little bit drained, I generally like to write. So what I have been putting together over the past, well, actually a really long time, is I have 7 principles that I make a practice into. Now, I don't like to say to live by because everyone's a human being, but I generally have these 7 principles that I have that make my life more joyous and meaningful, no matter the circumstance. So today I'm just going to be covering 3 principles which I feel will be very beneficial. And the first principle that I actually have is values, to live through your values. So if you are feeling drained or consistently tired all of the time, or struggle with depression, you are probably not living through your internal values. Now, your internal values are something that you will have to answer on your own, but a very helpful question to ask yourself during your day is, if you would like to find your internal values, is to ask yourself periodically during the day, why am I doing this? So this way it brings you into the present moment, so you're not in autopilot, and it also brings you into a perspective of, if you find that you are answering this question in the same manner, such as, why am I doing this? Because I want to feel better. Why am I doing this? Because I want to feel better. If you're doing this because I would like to make more money, why am I doing this? Because I would like to. If there is a consistent pattern in your answers, then it probably means, one, you're already achieving that internal value, or number two, you're not. So it would depend on what the value is, and then we would be able to dive a little bit deeper. I do go into a little bit more depth with my sessions, but basically, if you like to find the deeper meaning of a value, you will have to look at what makes it up, or why this is important to you. So, helpful question to ask yourself is, why am I doing this? So let's say, for example, you're doing this because you want to be seen. And this is a periodically a answer that keeps coming up. So my question to you would be, do you feel seen when you do this? Why or why not? So this will kind of give you a concept of what your values are. The values are just how behavior arises, or why we do certain things. And a lot of times we're not familiar, or we don't recognize that we are actually fulfilling a value or we're not. So the interesting thing about values is that I actually do not believe in depression. Now, I did do a video on depression. It's called The Art of Depression, and it talks a little bit about the perspective of depression. If you're somebody that struggles with depression, I'm not exactly telling you that, I'm not gaslighting you and telling you that you do not struggle with depression. However, depression is a symptom of not living through your values. It's also a symptom of not being able to not being in alignment with some of your values or all of your values. So you're going to be in this space of, you're going to come into apathy, you're going to come into anxiety, you're going to come into sadness. Those are symptoms of not being able to get what you want. So these physical emotions are going to come up. So, since values are a very important fundamental principle in living a meaningful life, it is very helpful to do things because you value it. So a helpful question to ask yourself is, if you are a person that's struggling with symptoms of depression, it's very helpful to ask yourself, what can I value today? Or what do I value today? This will also bring you into a more of a space of I wouldn't say it's positive focus, but it brings you in a space of value. And value is something that is more difficult to take away more than material things. Mental health is more about being in a space of the heart space and living through peace. And to be able to find peace, you have to live through your values. So that is the number one principle. That the first principle that I live by is living through my values. And if I have physical symptoms, it usually means that are not pleasant to me, usually means that I have to rethink the values that I have. And your values can change over time. So the second principle that I try to make a practice of is harming nothing. Now, this is virtually impossible to do, harming none. You're essentially going to harm something no matter what you do. If you step on the grass, there might be an ant there and you're accidentally going to step on it and still try to live through this principle. So, the way that I view this is this type of viewpoint can go into either self-sacrificial tendencies or like martyr tendencies, but the goal of harming none is to make a conscious choice to always be kind, or to always think of the well-being of other people. Now, you as a person are still people and you are a person. So harming none also includes yourself, which is really, for some people, it's actually really difficult to make a practice of, because for some people, we're used to having to please other people. But this also brings back into, I am a person and I am lovable and I am a human being as well that needs love, and I am capable and willing to receive the same as I give to other people. So harming none. Example that I use when harming none, that phrase or that sentence, is when I buy clothing at the store, or I order something to eat, or I maybe buy a book at a store. I always think about the consequence of what I'm doing. So example could be, I went to a store the other day and I saw a shirt that was made in India, and I thought about, some of people that I know that are from India, depending on the place that they live. India can be a really beautiful country, but there are some parts of India that are very poor and very impoverished. So I really wanted to buy this particular shirt because I wanted to hopefully help someone over in India that maybe was poverty stricken. So for some people, this type of mentality might be a little bit much, but I try to think of things like that because everything that we do has a consequence, and everything that we do has an effect. So it also brings you into a space of the simplest things can make a really big difference. Also, if someone is mean to you or having a really bad day or has like a really nasty tone, a lot of times we have an inclination to respond in the same manner when that's actually not what they need. So harming none is a practice, and it's always a point of focus. So my first value is to live through your values and to know what your values are. Number 2 is to harm none, or is to harm as little beings as possible. And my third value that I live by, or the third principle, is I like to make a choice and gear towards having a lasting effect. Now, everything that we do has a lasting effect, and nothing is done ever in vain. Everything has a continuous reaction and effect, and so it could be said that everything that is ever done is always heard by the entire world at some point. So the third principle that I have is to have a lasting effect would mean a lasting feeling with either people that I meet, or the places that I work, or the things that I produce or things that I create will have a lasting effect on people, or be able to be in a space of I get to belong to everyone. And now what I mean by this is when people read my ratings, or they watch my videos, or I make a friendship, or maybe I eat a meal with someone. I like to be able to offer something to someone that they will be able to have for the rest of their life, which also includes I get to be with that person for the rest of their life. So there is a I guess it's more of a, I don't like to use the word selfish, because for me to be able to find a place in everyone's hearts makes me really happy, because it makes me feel like I get to have a connection or belong to people. But this is something that is very important to me, and as you can see, it's probably making me really teary. But these are the 3 principles that I like to live by to have a meaningful life, because this also includes, no matter in what situation you are in, you get to, this is something that can never be taken away from you. It doesn't matter if you become homeless, or if you lose everything, or there's an economic crisis, or you have to move suddenly, or you lose all your friends. Like, these are things that are very concrete, and it's a healthy form of safety. So this is just the start of my 7 principles, but I hope it was beneficial for you guys, and I will leave my info for individual sessions, writings, and also my information for my Spotify and all of my content in the description box below if you guys are interested. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.